Most people start building for their first client, but for me, before I start building for a new client, I try to understand what's really actually going on. Hey, my name is Paul Kim, and I help agency and consultants get their first high-level clients by first getting clarity on the fundamentals before they build anything. If you're using HighLevel or planning to, in this video, I'm going to go over the specific list of items, questions that will save you from building the wrong thing. All right, so based on my experience from just conversing with a lot of people, most people learn HighLevel, right? Whether they learn directly from HighLevel or they learn from other influencers or other people that are building in HighLevel, and they provide strategies and they provide snapshots. And so what most people do is they typically start building, whether they start building funnels, automations, or AI, or whatever it may be. They get their first client and then they start building, right? And what happens is that they meaning the client, would cancel, right? And so in this video, what I want to do is I want to go over with you these fundamental questions, these what I call these high-level checklists, right? That will help you to not only get clients, but also to retain clients. So ultimately, this simple checklist that I'm going to provide will help you to, if you watch the video to the very end, that last item is going to help you so that you don't build the wrong thing. That helps you build the right thing. So on that note, I'm going to go over those questions, right? And to make it easier, I put the link below where you can get the checklist so that you can follow along as well. All right, so check out the link below. All right, so I group these questions in phases, the phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. And phase 1 is, can they get leads, right? And that goes to basically the first question, which is, are they visible, right? If you follow along with the my framework that I've been teaching, I'll put the link to that framework on top. So L stands for local visibility, and which means that are they visible? And that typically means, basically putting in Google or putting in, certain keywords or looking for them online and seeing if they show up visibly, whether through Google Maps or on their website, right? Second is the second question that is within phase 1 is that are they capturing the leads that are actually coming to their Google business profile or their website, right? And this goes with the O in our framework, which is opt-in, right? So basically, are they capturing those opt-ins, whether through the website or through calls, right? And so, and that's basically the second question. Now, the second phase is what happens afterwards, right? And this goes to the conversation, which is the C in my local framework, and then the A is the automation, right? So the questions that needs to be asked is what happens when those lead comes in, right? When the submissions comes in or when the phone calls come in, what happens from the client's perspective? Is there a follow-up? Is there an immediate response? Is there any response? Or do they just sit there, right? And those are the questions that needs to be kind of, dug in, meaning they really need to be answered. And sometimes, as much as the client says, "Oh, no worry, this is what happened." I mean, we have that taken care of, but what they say in their mind is not really something that is automated or that can be sustained. And so you want to dig deeper into those questions. So phase 3 is what's actually going on. And this goes down to numbers, like actual numbers. And so this might be a little bit difficult for new people, but as much information you can try to get is, not verbally from the client. These are actual numbers that you need to try to figure out. So like how many submissions are being submitted online through the forms, through the web chat, how many are coming organically or through paid ads, how many are phone calls are being dialed in through the Google Business Profile or dialed in through the website, if that can be tracked at all. How many reviews requests are actually going out in comparison to the actual number of clients, right? And so these are, once you have these numbers, then you're able to analyze fully where the leaks are coming from, right? And so that goes with now phase four. What do we build first, right? And so this is where you're going to take a look at phase one, two, and three and figure out where um, the biggest leak is. And also, you're going to look at what is going to give you the fastest visible return to the client, because at the end of the day the client wants visible results, and it should also try to tie in with something that is going to generate revenue, right? Which means that what's going to capture or generate leads for them, right? Because um, and that's really important. Why? Because that's what really the clients really want, are looking for, right? Because they are looking for a return on the money that they're spending. All right, so let me give you two real stories, examples. One is what I mentioned in my last video about Alan Sadine, right? His visible result was setting up his Google Business Profile and setting up his website, right? But I let him know ahead of time that the results is not going to compound because he wasn't running ads. We wanted to get organic, right? And so the compounding of his getting reviews will help him compound so that he gets organic results later. And so to this day, he gets the benefit of him ranking locally because of the reviews compounding. All right, so the other example is our current client, which is the driving school, right? Um, as much the client has told us specifically that the most important part of their website was that that drives calls to their business, right? He wasn't concerned with the form submission and the web chat. But later, after running the numbers, right, after going and looking at the numbers, we found out that the forms and the web chat is significant in terms of the number of leads that they were generating, right? And so that's why those questions are very important. So you can download the questions. I'll put the link in the description. So to recap, before I start building anything for my clients, right? Or in your case, if you're looking to build something for your first client, make sure you go through those questions, right? Don't start building because you may end up building the wrong thing. And so based on that, hopefully that will give you some direction as to what to build first. If you're new to this channel, go check out my last week's video on how I got my first client without even touching high level or automations. All right, go check it out.